Hello everybody, AJ Ryzik here, and today we have I guess you want to call it a preview of Kde Solus. Now, this is, I don't know whether you consider it beta or alpha or whatever, but, this is not available to the general public, at least as of yet. Right now, if you want to get a hold of this testing ISO, you need to be one of the Solus patrons through their Patreon account, which is how I got a hold of it. And I've been playing around with it for a couple of weeks now, and got really don't have anything bad to say. The little tiny things that I have. And I don't even want to call them issues, but little things that are incomplete, I guess you could say. Not really a big deal. And probably the one that I noticed the most was, let me open up the software center, and we'll kind of get this out of the way, things that weren't right. If you go to third party, you can see that a fair number of the icons are missing. Not a big deal. From a functional standpoint, everything has worked great. No issues as far as that. The issues that I have had, and I'm going to talk about those in a minute, were not Solus issues. They are KDE issues, more specifically a couple of KDE apps that I have fought with, trying to get them to work the way that they're supposed to, and just not happening. And I was wondering, okay, is this on the Solus end of things? Is the issue there, or is this is it truly a problem with the app? So I went and on a couple of my other partitions on this computer, set up what I set up. I set up Netrunner, and I also set up KDE Neon, ran the same apps to see, is it reproducible? And yes, I had the same problems there. So it tells me this isn't a Solus issue. This is a KDE app issue. And I'll talk about those issues a little bit later in the video. But first, let me just show you real quick what they got for a default installation, what you're going to see. It is, I guess, what I would call a generic KDE installation, and you can see it's a standard KDE wallpaper. You got a single panel across the bottom. Your usual indicators, and you have the standard launch menu. Now, looking at my desktop, you can see I've changed things up a fair amount. Just because, one of the things about KDE, you can really customize it to the way that you want. Now, the flip side to that is that a lot of people who are OCD, you end up spending all of your time doing nothing but configuring KDE, tweaking this, tweaking that, and you really don't get anything done. I have that problem. Anyway, just real quick, I'll show you what I did, kind of how I set things up. You can see I moved the panel up to the top. Change the theming, whatever you think. And actually, let me drag over a window. Here's Dolphin, so you can just take a look at it. That's kind of my style. Personally, the Breeze theme I don't like. Actually, for just kind of a general statement, there's hardly any KDE themes that I think really look good. Maybe it's just because I have used the GTK and GNOME themes for so long that nothing on KDE looks good to me, but just my personal opinion, I really don't like that default Breeze theme or much any other KDE theme. Anyway, so went with single panel across the top, which is where I like it. Of course, got the system tray over on the one side. Move the clock and calendar to the middle, which is where I like to have it. And then for the application menu, I switched over to this more cascading type menu. It's more in my. I really don't like the default one. Now, one of the cool things on KDE, if you haven't used KDE in a while or never have, if you can go to alternatives on the various widgets. So, like for the application launcher, go to alternatives, and it'll list all the different ones available. You can go to the dashboard, which is a full screen launcher. You got the application launcher, which is the standard one, and then we got the application menu, which is one I'm using now. Then there's this Excalibur menu. It's a widget that I downloaded. I'll pull it up just so that you can take a look at it. Still not, it really wasn't my preference, but I'll let you take a look at it. I mean, it's functional and everything. It just, I like the other ones better. So let me go and back to alternatives, put it back to my application menu, switch that back. Okay. Oh, and also for my task manager, I switched it over to the icon only task manager. I like that better. It's more compact. Just kind of suits my personality. Oh, and then on the bottom, I've been playing around with Kde Activities, and I added another panel down here, which is auto hide, and it's got all my different Kde activities that I have set up, and that's something I've kind of been playing around with. So if you're not familiar with Kde Activities, essentially what it is, in a way, it's similar to virtual desktops, but not 100% completely. So you can set up a specific activity that will, like it's for a specific purpose. So like in the case of this one, what I'm on right now is my video recording one. And you can set up specific apps that will always launch when you go to that particular activity. So in this case, and you can't see a lot of it because I've got it set up on my other monitor. I've got it set up so that GUVC view, which is my webcam recorder, it's set up. It'll automatically launch on the other on my other monitor, and then also simple screen recorder, and then also Dolphin will. So when I go to that, boom, it's ready to go. I just need to open up whatever particular application I am doing a review on, or you kind of get the idea. And then the same thing with video editing. Kdenlive opens up automatically for me. When you get over to novel writing research, specific applications are going to open up there. The whole idea is to streamline your workflow. And like I said, I've been playing around with it for a couple of weeks now, and I think, how would I put this? Depending on what you use your computer for, it may or may not streamline your workflow. If you have, let's say that you're a sysadmin and you always open up the same apps and are doing the same thing all the time, this is probably going to, activities is probably going to be something good for you. You got that sysadmin maybe monitor so you can monitor all of the PCs or all of the desktops that you're in charge of maintaining. That'll probably work out good for you. In my case, because there are so many different things that I use my computer for, I don't have one. Even trying to break it down here, say for example under my research, okay, you can have it so that your browser opens up, and you can have it so that Cherry Tree Notes opens up for me. But depending on what I am researching at the time, there may be other apps that I need, other apps that I want. So I'm still going to have some time where I'm opening apps, resizing windows, all that kind of stuff. So at least for me, the whole activities thing, it really just didn't work out to me. And again, I'm probably prejudiced because of working on the GNOME desktop and GNOME shell for so long that to me that is a more efficient workflow. Anyway, so that's my basic setup here. So let's talk about the app that has been the royal pain in my you-know-what for the past week. The one that has caused more headaches than I care to count, and that is Kmail. Let me go to go switch over. I've got it set up so that this will automatically launch on my startup activity. Let me drag it over here because I got it set up so it'll go to the other monitor. So anyway, I installed basically the entire what KDE calls their PIM suite. So we've got Contact, which it's sort of your summary. We've got Mail, we've got Contacts, we got Calendar, we've got the to-do list, RSS feeds, Journal, pop-up notes, and this app I wanted so bad for this thing to work right, because to me this is something that Linux needs if we want to get people that not only just switching people over to the Linux desktop, but getting people to use it for their small business, that sort of thing. You really need a suite like this. I know a lot of people, they just do webmail, or they want a simple web client on their desktop, maybe like Kde, or there's a lot of people use Thunderbird, and Thunderbird is what I ended up going right back to. Luckily, I always keep all my Thunderbird settings. But anyway, I wanted this thing to work so bad, because looking at it, the UI very nice here. You've got this real nice summary up front. You can see all the stuff that's on your calendar, upcoming events, upcoming special dates, to-dos. Speaking of the to-dos, if you have Gmail, it syncs with to-do lists that you create on Gmail. Love it. Just going to show all your pop-up notes that you made. Like I said, I wanted this to work so bad. Unfortunately, when it comes to the mail part, it was hit or miss. If you've got Gmail, if you've got Yahoo Mail, any of those free mail services, from all the testing I've been doing, they will set up and launch and function without a hitch. If you have an IMAP email account coming from, in my case, through my website ajreisig.com, I've set up an email account through that. It's IMAP. I have the option of either doing encrypted, non-encrypted. I tried it both ways, and it is still hit or miss on whether the account's sync or not. And it looks like it's working right now, but probably 75% of the time on launch, it doesn't launch. I end up going over into settings, come down to configure Kmail, and let me pull the dialog box over. And right here where it says ajreisig.com, I'll need to go and hit the restart button. And then a lot of times after, I'll have had Kmail open for a while, and then I'll come back to Kmail and I'll see all the font here is in red. I go to the settings and it shows that once again ajreisig.com is unable to start. And I've been searching all over online trying to find a solution, and I found a lot of posts on message boards and forums and whatnot where other people have run into the exact same problem, and essentially there is no solution other than constantly having to restart that server. I shouldn't have to do that, when I set this email account up on Thunderbird. I've set it up on Geary. I set it up on Clawsmail. What's that? That other Trojito, I think is how you pronounce it. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation, but anyway, I tried it on all those. Every one of them. It set up without a hitch. Within 30 seconds, I was downloading emails and everything was set up. But it's been a battle for over a week trying to get this to function correctly and function correctly all the time. And like I said, I wanted this program to work so badly. And the thing is that, you know, there are a lot of KDE applications out there that are awesome. So when you got one like this that, you know, and it's just not working for you, it kind of gets irritating. Because like just for example, pull up the KDE partition manager. Playing around with this one. I know a lot of people, when they're looking at the partition managers, they go to Gparted. Now, I will tell you, this will take a little while for it to scan all my drives because of the number of drives that are on this computer. But anyway, you know, it, as far as for partition managers go, this thing I think blows Gparted out of the water. Gparted is decent, but this thing, I have never had, playing around with it the past week or so, I have not had a single one of the issues that I always have with Gparted. Anything that I asked it to do, it did it. It did it correctly. No issues, no problems. Plenty of options there as far as what you can do to the drives, as far as wiping. And that's another one. Where was it? You can pick a partition. Let's just select that one there. Not only can you delete the partition and edit the mount point and all that kind, you can go and shred it, wipe it clean. Love it. I mean, as far as partition managers go, this thing's freaking awesome. Another one, you know, for your file manager, Dolphin. Awesome application. You know, you can set it up so that auto starts with dual pane. You can set it single pane startup. Add as much stuff as you want over into places. I've even got it set up. If you see right here, Movies 3, that is actually a hard drive on my home server for adding movies. I've got it set up so that I can automatically SSH into the server. Just click on that, give it a second, and boom, it shows you all the movies that are on there. So if I want to add something from you know, from this computer, I can. I don't have to go and go through the interface of my home server. So love a lot of the KDE applications, and like I said, I just wanted Kmail and really the whole contact suite. I wanted all those to work so bad. So while we're on the subject of apps, let's take a look at what Kde software they have available in the Solus repositories, and actually there's a fair amount. You know, I already talked about Dolphin and basically the entire, you know, Kde PIM suite. So you know, you got all that stuff. You got the excellent partition manager. Tell you what, let's just go to search, and I'll just do a Kde search. And Kget download manager, excellent tool. This is that RSS feed reader that you saw earlier. Digicam. Excellent photo manager and editor. Like everything KDE, buku options there. So if you're looking for a simple to use, very quick to learn photo manager, don't use that one. There's quite a bit of learning to do, but you can do essentially anything you want or any tool that you would want in a photo manager, photo editor, you will probably find it in Digicam. Let's see, we got GwenView, excellent image viewer. Let's see what we got here. Kde Connect. So if you got a Android phone or tablet, you can go and connect it to the Kde desktop. Did that with my actually both my phone and my Android tablet. Both of them worked great. Great tool. Of course, Kdenlive, I've been using that for years as my main video editor. We've got that in the libraries here. Let's see what we got. Of course, we already talked about Kmail, the menu editor for KDE, Kmix as a sound mixer, excellent tool there. Knotes for sticky notes. Color Paint is a very basic painting application. And for those of you that want something that, you know, you can fire it up, it doesn't take long to learn how to do it, just want to do some basic stuff, excellent tool. Conversation, which is their IRC client. Crusader, this thing has been around forever. Awesome tool. Twin panel, file manager, all kinds of stuff that you can do. You know, tons and tons of options there. Music education software, hex editor, document viewer. There's that partition manager. Scrooge, which is a KDE based finance manager. You see just all kinds of stuff. I tell you, the one thing that I wasn't necessarily looking for it, but the one thing that I noticed that was not available, and whether it does become available later on or not, and that is the KDE Office application. So the Kwrite, and off the top of my head, I can't remember the names of the other, you know, the spreadsheet application and whatnot. But those are not available in the repos, at least as of right now. Maybe they will be one day, but at least as of right now, they are not. So really, at least at this point on Solus, you could not have a complete KDE desktop and be able to have, you know, that Office suite. Obviously, if you wanted to, you could go and use cloud applications or whatnot if you wanted to stay strictly KDE. But long and short of it is that right now those Office applications are not available through the default repos. All in all, I think it's just shaping up to be a good, I don't know whether you would call it desktop version or good distribution or whatever. But anyway, I think that the project's coming along nicely. They don't have, at least from what I'm saying, they don't have a lot of work to make this a fully functional desktop and have everything that you wanted. You know, the stuff that is incomplete is relatively minor. Got a lot of, especially what I consider the best of KDE software available. So a lot of good stuff going on here. You know, I kind of look forward to doing a full review when they're done and get this out of testing, beta, alpha, whatever you want to call it, status, and it becomes an official flavor of Solus. So, having said that, I think that about finishes this video up. As always, leave comments, questions, all that kind of stuff down below. I try to get to it as soon as I can. If you are not a subscriber, please subscribe, and I hope to see you all on my next video. Thanks a lot.